on this one. Yes, there it was. I hadn't had skis on until 1997, and I was very lucky that some idiot chose me to be part of a North Pole relay. I didn't get to the pole on that expedition, but it lit a fire in me for the North Pole regions. And so in 2002, I asked Caroline Hamilton and Pom Oliver if they would join me on an all-the-way expedition from Canada to the North Geographic Pole, the one that Jeremy Clarkson didn't drive his Land Rover to. When we set off, it was unbelievably cold. Yes, it's a polar expedition, you might say. But in 1997, temperatures were around -27 to -33. When we left in 2002, for the first 27 days, they were between -34 and -48. Everything froze. Our clothes froze, our eyelashes froze. I think what was harder was our brains froze. I'm not normally a quick person, but everything was slow motion. We just did one thing slowly after another. After a hard day outside, we'd get into the tent, and it was still cold in the tent. It was -30. So we sat huddled on our sleeping bags, ate really quickly, drank burning, scalding tea, and dived into our bags immediately. It took 3 of us to haul the sledge over each ridge, and so for most of the time we were just relaying the sledges. Again, for the first few days we were just doing 1 mile a day. We were caught in storms. One was so bad we lay under the tent material for 3 days, just being beaten to death by the wind. I think the only thing we said during that 3 days was, "Are you all right?" "Yes, okay." And 3 hours later, somebody else would, "Are you all right?" "Yes, okay." But all bad things do come to an end, and at the end of 3 days we came out, and for us we decided that was the start of our expedition. We were going to put it all behind us and start again. Unfortunately, we had got frostbitten hands and frostbitten feet. Caroline's fingers, they're not that bad, they're getting better, were so bad she couldn't do anything with them. Not dress herself, not go to the toilet herself. Caroline and I became very close during those days. The terrain going to the North Pole is very bad. It's not easy. You're not just skiing on flat ice after flat ice. And after 39 days, we'd gone just 69 of the 412 miles we had to go. We'd been told we only had a window of 70 days. Pom skied on those feet for 47 days. She was a hero, and she skied in order that the expedition could carry on. Unfortunately, she had to leave the team on the resupply plane on day 47, which was really sad. It left Caroline and I 30 days to do over 300 miles, and now we were having thinner water, thinner ice, open water, and when you have that kind of terrain, you then get the unfortunate polar bear. The only thing more terrifying than a polar bear is the male human species. That bear stalked me for 3 days. And what we had to do this time to get to the pole, the ice is thinning, so we had to swim in open water. We had an orange suit, and that was terrifying. You knew you were pretty defenceless. And so when we came across any obstacle, whether it was water, thin ice, we just had to climb in, push our sledges and move onwards. And each day we just skied longer and longer. We began to ski 16 hours instead of 8 hours, and sleep for a few hours, and we drank tepid water because we just couldn't afford the time to boil our tea up. And I don't think it was really until that 2 days before we got there that we began to believe it. But 80 days into the expedition. It is about planting the flag, it is. We got there on the 1st of June. It was a world record. There was also a world record that I don't really tell people about. Nobody had ever taken as long to do it ever before. That expedition was great, but actually it gave me a platform. Martin Hartley is the guy that I was talking about, to give something back to the environment that had given me so much. And Pen Haddo asked me to join the Catlin Arctic Survey. He also is mad. He asked me to be the pathfinder and lead the ice team, which included him for the 60 days. I don't know many men brave enough to follow a woman across that terrain and not tell her where to go. What that did for me for 3 years, it let me work with some of the top scientists in the world. I'm not clever, I'm not a scientist, but it really meant I could work with some fantastic people, and I now understand the Arctic Ocean in ways that I never could have thought of by just doing the adventures my own way. And I think if it weren't for them, I certainly wouldn't know as much of what's going on with the world. Bet you're glad I'm not looking for dating, aren't you? That's my last slide. I can't remember why I put it. I just like it. That is how I feel about adventure. I will tell you, it's going to go in a minute. That was taken the day that my Perla expedition, solo expedition, had to be abandoned from Russia because of permits. But I was just so happy, because life is about the adventure, not necessarily the achievement. So thank you. I'm going to get off now.